What's going on, world? And welcome back to the Pursuit of the Good Life podcast, where we talk about how to enhance your relationships and crush those career goals each and every single Thursday. I am your host, the Kameron Lovelace, joined again by Zoom quarantine week, whatever week this is, by Dr. Sara. Sara, what's going on? And your end.
Nothing much, Cam. Just making it. It's week 5 or 6 of quarantine.
Right.
And so, I can't say that I've been blessed to be able to work through this process, but I'm still kind of tired. It's been a lot, but shout out to everybody who got those stimulus checks today.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I'm grateful because it's going right back to the government because I owe taxes. So thank you, government. Y'all better get y'all money right on back. Yeah, that was an easy, I think everybody's like, oh, what are you going to do with your money? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And for me, I was like, I'm going to pay my taxes because I have to pay them anyway, and I hope that people remember that you still have to pay your taxes if you have to pay back taxes. Handle that. And so when I got mine, I checked my account this morning. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let me move this to my savings. Just real easy. Right. So, but how about you? How are you guys doing over there?
We are doing good. I'm seeing clients on Zoom, on via phone, we making it work. I was having a conversation with one of my classmates when I went to school with for counseling, and she was like, it's funny how this event has kind of forced us to get ready for telehealth. And because it was like this whole thing on how we're moving in the direction of doing more telehealth. And now everybody's forced to do telehealth. So it's really closer than what we all thought it was going to be. But other than that, no, I've been staying focused. I have not been staying up till the wee hours of the morning like you, but we'll be. But we enjoy our time. We watch at least, I think, 2 hours. We end the day with just a couple hours of Netflix or a couple hours of Hulu. We pick a show and we're just consistently spending some time there. But no, we still in grind mode over here. We I still got clients, and I'm still trying to build my business in the midst of this chaos. And we got our stimulus check today as well, so we making some money moves to put us in a better place. 3-6 months from now. And let me tell you something, if the government is going to give us even more money with this bill, which that's a long shot. I don't know if the bill will be passed that they just proposed.
It's so long to get here.
Yeah. So we'll see how it all shakes, but I'm going to take advantage of this stimulus check and we're going to make some moves. Matter of fact, I paid off my car today. So car note for me is OV. So is what are the kids saying? It's ghetto. Having a car note is very ghetto, as the kids say nowadays.
It is. I'm proud of y'all. I actually got a notification about my car note, and I've paid off almost $6,000 on my note within the past year. Which for me, if you're a struggling grad student,
right,
and I'm not even gonna get into the whole story behind my car note, but that's like a big deal for me to be able to say, hey, I'm paying this thing down.
Right.
So I cannot wait for the day where they say, hey, I ain't got no more payments.
Right.
So
which we can talk about that offline, but there's a whole strategy and process you can do to pay to it, which I'm sure you're already doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Still we're enjoying the time away from day-to-day work, having to get up, wake up early to make sure everything's in order, then leave the house, be away from our house for 8-10 hours, and then come back home and get ready for all. We're enjoying that, but we're still in productivity mode over there. Just like we've been talking about last couple podcasts, we're still staying in the mindset of moving forward. I'm blessed that we're still able to do that, but we're going to take advantage of it. So but today, I wanted to talk about specifically kind of sort of a challenge to our podcast listeners, but also encouraging at the same time. And is really to focus on your core four. And what people, so Cameron, you're listening, you're like, Cameron, what the hell is core four? So your core four are your areas of your life that I want to challenge you to kind of focus on in this time. Really, whether Corona's here or not, you should be looking at these core four. And your core four is, of course, starting with your health. The next is your mentals, as Marshawn and Liz say, your mentals, your mindset. The next is your relationships and your balance. So that includes, how you're doing relationally with your spouses, with your friends, people who you haven't talked to in a long time, or also just, having balance for yourself. And last but not least, your wealth. So your core four are those four areas. But obviously some people are, not paying attention to none of that during this time. But what happens when you are intentionally focusing on these areas, you start to build, momentum. Something as little as, like, for example, I've been reading this book right here that I showed y'all on the podcast a couple weeks ago.
Right,
The Millionaire Next Door. This is what I've been reading. I pulled it out. I told y'all to read it or go get it, so I'm going to take the challenge and do it too. So this, for example, is covering my mindset because it's a book, and then also wealth because it's about money and wealth and finances and stuff like that. So that is me working on that and, getting stuff together in that fashion. So what I want to challenge everybody to do is to really pick one of these four areas during this time that you can focus on. Maybe you're not, in a position where you can focus on all four right now. That's fine. Right. But I want to challenge everyone to pick one area of your life and go 100% focus in for the next till we come out, really. So if it's you want to get your physical health together, like, look, the African-American community is taking really a double hit right now because it's Corona, because we already have these pre-existing conditions that are already in our bodies. And then Corona is throwing that in the mix and killing us like horrible fashion. So really, you guys might want to focus on your physical. So what does that look like? You need to, when you go to the store, don't necessarily get everything that makes fried, fatty, sugary, salty foods. Okay, maybe you need to switch it up and have some baked chicken instead of fried chicken. Do we need salad? Load up on those vegetables instead of the snacks. Switch to fruit, switch to apples, switch to oranges, clementines, pineapples instead of getting the cookies, the chips for your kids. Like, go all in terms of your physical. Like, get on YouTube and do a 10-minute workout. There's millions of workout videos on YouTube, and go full throttle. Like, I'm gonna block out this hour to work out, shower, get my hair together, all that good stuff. Like, go all in when you do this. Like, especially if you got a pre-existing condition, I think you definitely need to. And matter of fact, I just got a call today from my second dad about an old teammate of mine that I used to play with about 10 years ago. He just lost, so his parents, I think, are a little bit older, but his mom just passed away from COVID-19 last night. And his dad, who's already on disability, is diagnosed with it as well.
Which is hard.
Right. And that's extremely hard. But if you got a chance to get your physical right, I need you to go all in with it. Like, I need you to take this serious right now. Like, look into, okay, do I need to start taking more vitamins? Because those racks, they're available. Walmart, Walgreens, everybody restocks consistently. So like, if I need to, okay, if I just need to be active for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes to, like, so I'm not gaining the quarantine 15. let me lose the quarantine 15. Let me do about 25 push-ups a day. Okay, next, then I move up to 50 push-ups. Like whatever progress you can make in your specific area, I want you guys to go all in with it, because this, you're not going to get this time back. This consecutive time where you're at home, spending with your families, being at home, having free time to watch Netflix and do it. You're not going to, an opportunity like this may never come again in our lifetime.
I
So
hope.
I hope not either. But make sure that you are taking advantage of it. And that's specifically in the physical area. Sarah wanted to dive into the mental area. I'll let you go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, one of the things that has been coming up, so like Cameron said, we have been just really productive. And I said earlier, I've been blessed to keep working. And so on our meetings that we've been having, one of the things that's been coming up is just that a lot of people are really they're dealing with a lot of like depression and anxiety and
Mm-hmm.
just other things that are happening right now because they are at home. And so on the one hand, many of us are grateful for time to be at home and be able to spend time with our families, but some people don't have that type of environment at home. And
Right.
so you can very well get to a place where you are feeling depressed or you are feeling anxious. And I really just wanted to talk about that because I think we kind of overlook that sometimes, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and just the way we're coping with things. And so not everybody has the ability to talk to a counselor, or to receive telehealth work. And I've just been seeing just a rise in like suicides. Like it seems like every other day there's like another story of somebody who couldn't deal with the isolation. And I really just wanted to talk about like what are some things that you're doing to take care of yourself during this process?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like how are you dealing with your self-care? How are you dealing with your anxious thoughts? Or if you are somebody who deals with depression, um, how are you dealing with your triggers during this time? Because that's very important because a lot of us are at home. A lot of people aren't able to leave. A lot of us aren't able to, work might have been your outlet. The same with kids. So like sometimes school is like their outlet. Work might have been their thing. And I just want to make sure that we're really just reaching out to people and
Mm-hmm.
checking in on people, especially the people that you haven't heard from in a while, people who may have may have come off as like loners in a sense. But making sure we're reaching out to people, make sure we're taking care of ourselves, because it's very easy to kind of like get into like a little funk here, you know what I mean? Because you'll get like, man, I'm just tired of doing this, I'm tired of doing that, or I don't even want to get out of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll look up and 3 days been gone by.
Right.
And you haven't even brushed your teeth for 3 days. Well, I hope people are brushing their teeth. I'm just saying.
You ain't been brushing your teeth, washing your body.
Right. You'll get into that place where it's like, well, I ain't gotta go nowhere.
You're
But
gonna
no,
make
like,
yourself have the corona.
yes, I had saw this post earlier today and I wish I would have saved it. But it was just tips on how to stay calm. I think it was like just calm
Mm-hmm.
and something else during this time. And so one of the things they talked about was to make a schedule, right? Make a schedule. It doesn't necessarily have to be as strict as like your work schedule was before, but make yourself a schedule, stick to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you might not be getting up at 7, you might be getting up at 9, but get up, go wash your face, go take a shower, go, schedule some self-care. One of the things he suggested was to find a book,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you said, find a good book and read that book. That can give you a little escape. It says to open up your blinds, right? Which is like, and I don't think we really think about like, we'll sit up here and be sitting in the dark. No, open up your blinds. Go sit outside. I forgot I had a lounge chair in my trunk. And so sometimes I'll go sit outside on the patio and do some work,
Mm-hmm.
right? Get some fresh air. Um, Also, of course, physical activity does help. It releases endorphins. And so you can do that. I started doing yoga. I started just doing all these different things just to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves during this. And if at the end of the day, the only thing you were able to do was to get out the bed and shower and move around a little bit, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Long as you're doing something, right? We don't want to get just stuck and just here And then we'll get to thinking, man, everything's not opening up and how's life going to be? And you'll start worrying about the things you can't control
Right.
versus focusing on the things that you can control. And that's been one of the things I've had to do, focus on what I can control. Because the reality of it is, we don't know when this is going to end.
Right.
You know, if you've been keeping up with the news, it seems like there's something different every day. Um, I've heard many different predictions. I've heard, oh, they're opening up May 1st. Oh, they're gonna go through June. Oh, you know what I mean? And if you
Mhm.
keep up with it, like you'll drive yourself crazy.
Right.
Like you will. And you'll become really anxious and want to know, the next step when I do believe that we've been given an opportunity, in a sense, to rest, to really rest and really just believe the best is gonna happen and really just focus on what you can control in this.
Mhm.
So that's my little spill on it. Just honestly, just check on your people.
Yeah.
Really check on your people. Because the other piece of this, and I was reading an article, was we are losing a lot of people, but the way that we are able to celebrate life has changed. We can't do a big funeral. And so the way we grieve is changing as well. I actually found out one of my mom's really good friends, a lady I've known my whole life, passed away Sunday.
Mm.
And, and I talked to my mom about it, and of course she was sad because it's like, as much as we would want to be there, she can't. You have to learn to say your goodbyes another way. And there are a lot of people dealing with that.
Right.
A lot of people. And I don't think we recognize like that grieving process and
Mhm.
how that is also playing with being at home or not being able to go or not being able to do, and just it's just a lot.
Mhm.
It's just a whole lot. This has been a whole lot for a whole lot of people. And we just need to make sure we're checking on each other and making sure that we ourselves are okay
Right.
at the end of this.
You
So, yeah.
To follow up on that, you gotta, because I want to give you guys, of course, some practical tools. Because, like you said, you need to, of course, open your windows, open your blinds. Matter of fact, I've been using this new. Well, it's not even new. Calm app. It's a
Yeah.
meditation
Yeah.
app, and I'm gonna be honest, because I'm not an expert in counseling.
Okay.
I won't ever pretend to be an expert when it comes to counseling. But when I first got into it, I was like, meditation. What is that really gonna do?
It's good for you.
You know what, you chalk that up to my lack of ignorance to meditation. But I've been trying to be intentional, and I actually downloaded it, and it actually was like, oh, okay, this might actually be good. So you can definitely download the Calm app. It's free,
Yeah.
got plenty different guided meditation. You just,
One.
all you got to do is press play and sit there for 10 minutes, follow the instructions, and I promise you, you will feel like better after. And if you do it consistently, just like working out, like the more you do it, the better that you feel. It's the same way with meditation. So definitely download some type of. It doesn't necessarily have to be calm. If you already got something else, like pick something.
Mindfulness Daily is mine. I just had to look it up.
There you go.
Mindfulness Daily.
So you can just do some type of like meditation, or yoga. Yoga is also kind of halfway meditation slash physical. But also, like Sarah said, control what you consume. We talked about that last couple of weeks. But yeah, if you consistently consuming something that's going to trigger your anxiety, is going to trigger your depression, you're going to continuously be in that state. So control what you consume and switch it to something happy, or something that has nothing to do with what's going on in the world right now. That doesn't mean go on Netflix and look up that conspiracy video. Not, I won't say conspiracy video, but that video that was made in 2018. You haven't seen the video?
What video?
I'm gonna have to send it to you. It's a
Who's it
movie.
by?
It's a movie on Netflix, and
Contagion?
it is basically talking about COVID-19.
Is it called Contagion? That movie?
No,
I've been hearing about
no.
it. No?
This is a Asian. I won't say Japanese or Chinese, but it's an Asian movie. It's a movie with Asian characters and all that good stuff. I'll have to send it to you after we hop off.
Well, you
Um,
know that this virus is like, it's like a strain of like it's a part of a family of viruses. So like SARS and all of them are like
Yeah, it talks
all
about
part of that
it talks
family.
about it in movie form, in like fictional. I'm gonna send it to you. Don't worry about it. Anyway, that doesn't mean look at movies like Contagion and movies
Right.
like that. That's gonna trigger you up and get you startled and worried and all that good stuff. No,
You out here on YouTube looking up conspiracy theories and
exactly. So you need
have
to.
you heard?
Hmm?
Oh, sorry. I just thought about a conspiracy theory that I thought was I've heard the whole 5G thing. Have you heard the 5G thing?
Yes, it has completely and utterly not true. As soon as I heard it, I was like, this got to be the dumbest, stupidest thing I'd have ever heard. But anyway, um, consume things that's going to uplift your spirit.
Right.
Also,
Uplifting.
what I also challenge my clients, my personal clients to do, I say, I need you to do a gratitude log
Mm-hmm.
every day. Right, make a list of things that you are grateful for, things that are going well in your life, things that will shift your mindset in the right direction,
Yeah.
and process it, man. Like whatever, like if you need to just like, look, I'm worried, I'm stressed, let it out. You need to find a friend, find a therapist, find a mentor, find somebody who you connect to and let it out
Yeah.
and release all that tension. And also, let me say this also, and this is not going to be popular opinion in the Black community, but get updated on your medication. Because here's the thing, some of us can go and naturally like motivate ourselves to go forward. Other people biologically cannot. Like you, like there's a level that's in your brain that is just not is not in the adequate. It's not at the adequate level. So you need to go get your medication, get up to date on your medication, and get back right. Because all these people that were regular on their medication that are falling off, I bet a nice chunk of them have probably done something or are in a horrible state or have committed suicide, like Sarah said. So get right on your meds as well.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say you had said something about your gratitude log, and
Mm-hmm.
that made me think about so the app that I was talking about that I use, Mindfulness Daily. I like it because one, it has like guided meditation, but it also has these check-ins that you can do where it asks you questions like what's something that you can't control right now, or something that you're thinking about that you can't control. It'll ask you to rate like your stress levels. It'll ask you like, well, where are you feeling the stress? Is it in your body? Is it in your, your arms and stuff? But I really like it because it makes me really and truly think about like what I can control and can't control,
Mm-hmm.
and what I'm giving my thought process to, like what am I thinking about and giving space to, and how I can kind of flip that, like you said, and let those things go. I was gonna say, when you were talking about like the things that we're watching, me and Ken found something which probably other people probably know, but we're just like late to the game.
Mm-hmm.
But for those who have like an Apple TV, do you all have an Apple TV?
We do.
So iTunes has like all these different movies, right? Did you know that you can buy or rent?
Mm-hmm.
We're so slow. Well, we're not slow. We're just late
Y'all
to the
late
game.
to the party.
We late to the party because we found all these like movies that we used to watch back in the day on
Mm-hmm.
iTunes for like $2-3. Like, and so that's one of the things we've done because we pretty much ran through Hulu, Netflix, Prime, HBO Go. And so, but we found like some really like funny, good movies. So like one of our favorite movies that we said a lot is Soul Man. Have you seen that movie with Samuel Jackson and Bernie Mac? It was the last movie
Mm,
Bernie Mac did.
yes, that was the last movie Bernie Mac did. I've never watched that. I knew that was his last one, but
Really?
I've never sat and watched it.
And watched it. It's hilarious. Like when I say it's hilarious, it's hilarious. So like we've been just trying to we've been picking stuff that's funny that just kind of gives like a little escape. So like we have not watched your Contagions and
Yep.
all that. No.
Yep.
It's enough going on in the world than to like consume stuff like that right now. So
Y'all need some laugh. That's great practice. Laughter. It's great practice.
yes. Yes.
So moving along into not mindset. We just talked about mindset, balance, and
Yeah.
relationships. Look, I have taken the opportunity to intentionally pick one person a day to like follow up on that I have not like reached out to, because I know I'm probably one of the world's worst in terms of like keeping up with people, especially relatives that are not immediately in my city here in Memphis or in Jonesboro. I'm intentionally reaching out to different relatives who I have not talked to in months. Like I talked to my nana yesterday. Day before that, I talked to my cousin who's the same age as me, lives in Mississippi, and so on and so forth. Talked to my friend who's actually, this is so crazy. He's enrolled in the Navy, right?
Okay.
He went to college, all that good stuff, and decided to go into the Navy like months ago. But now they're getting him for it. And so where normally they are, in when we look at the military movies, basic training and stuff like that, normally there's the intimidation factor, of course, where your sergeant, is in your face, like this close to your face, yelling you, cussing at you, all this good stuff. Well, now, since it's COVID-19,
Gotta be 6 feet.
got to be 6 feet away and 6 feet in between your fellow mates that are going through, and they're only bunking 2 by 2 instead of like groups of 6. Is only 2 by 2. That intimidation factor, which when you're not this close to me, you're yelling at me from 6 feet away, it's not as intimidating.
It's not that intense.
Right.
Yeah.
So he was telling me, yeah, this is gonna be like the weirdest like basic training like ever. So I'll let you know how it is on the other side. So I'll talk to him in 6 weeks. He's actually I'm actually going to bring him on to the podcast, talk about that military type stuff for that part of our audience. But yeah, your relationship, take this opportunity and check on your folks and spend time with your family and friends. Well, don't spend time with friends if they outside your house, 10 or under.
Zoom. You can FaceTime
You're right.
meetings.
You can have a FaceTime party. You can get everybody on Zoom and stuff. And look, I actually, I was having having a conversation with my client earlier this week, and he was pretty bummed about not being able to walk at graduation because he's worked 12 hard years, and now he said he was kind of down. And we talked about basically making the best out of it with Zoom or inviting people over, obviously 10 and under, but talking to his mom about creating
Graduation.
intimate graduation at home. Like I said, get like a really active uncle to announce like from the class of 2020, James, whatever. That's not the client's name for those of y'all who are stuff like James Johnson or something like that. I don't know. And just like make the best of it, like, and try to still connect. Even though we are supposed to be socially distant, this is still like the most socially connected I think that we've ever been in this lifetime. So just because COVID-19 is forcing us to live life this way, that doesn't mean we need to separate. So double down on that aspect. And for some of us, that can help with our mental health and our mindset. Simply talking to our grandparents, our great aunts, our cousins, our children, spending time with our children, breaking out the Scrabble board and just playing board games, playing Monopoly, putting a puzzle together, working out with your kids, just having that time. This can really be a time where you rebuild those relationships, and you don't want to, with everybody, I won't say everybody dropping like flies, but with the death rates increasing, you don't want you don't want to have regret when the season is over. When, somebody that you've been beefing with a long time for some stupid reason, they get COVID-19 and pass away.
Right.
And you do not want that on your heart and your conscience. So take this opportunity to really see if you can grow some relationships. And I know I'm speaking to myself too, because I'm taking ownership, because I'm one of the world's worst in terms of keeping up with people, because I will go head first in the bunker and worry about me and mine, and that's it. And I'll see you at the family reunion. I'll see you at the cookout. I'll see you like whenever. And if I can't go, well, I'll see you in a couple more years. And there's some relatives I have not seen or talked to in years. So for those of y'all, I really am challenging y'all to take that relationship piece as well.
Yeah, I agree. One thing me and my friends have been doing, because before everything shut down, we would try to get together at least once every 2 weeks, me and like my core group of girlfriends. And so, and we're still trying. So we do like a happy hour, like a FaceTime happy hour, like for like an hour, like, and we'll like just kind of catch up with each other, or our group chat like is popping right now because everybody's pretty much at home.
Mm-hmm.
And we call each other more. You know, one thing I can say, I've had way more phone conversations because we are at home, right? And like you, I can get in the groove and I won't talk to people. Um, and so I have been making efforts to call people more, to reach out more, to have more contact with people. Like you said, one of the things that you mentioned, one of the things that me and Ken do, we've been playing like a lot of games. So like we play Monopoly
Mm-hmm.
on the Xbox, which is really fun. Like we have a good time on with the Monopoly.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a bunch of like card games, chess, and stuff like that, just so that we can just have fun in the midst of this. Because we are at home,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because normally we would be out, right? Because Dallas has so much to offer, and it's just like so many fun places, but it's like can't go nowhere. So we just make our own fun here.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're actually planning a movie night for Friday. Since we found all like these new movies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I actually let him watch one of my favorite movies yesterday that like he never seen before, and like he actually was like, okay, this is funny. You ever seen the movie John Tucker Must Die?
Yes.
Yes, I think it's so funny.
Have
You haven't
not.
seen John Tucker Must Die with Ashanti?
No, yes, I have. You know what? It's right because it's when all the girls find out that they're all dating John Tucker.
Yeah, they all dating a dude.
Mhm.
And they have to. Yeah, he watched it for the first time yesterday. He was laughing. He was like, "Wow, like this is such a cheesy high school movie." But like
Absolutely
some
is.
of the stuff was like, yeah, definitely seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we've just been trying new stuff, cooking. Man, we have cooked. Like we have cooked a lot. But it's been good.
Right.
Um, it's been needed. So, but you know, I just encourage everybody out there to just do the best you can. Reach out to people. Try to make sure you are okay through
Mm-hmm.
this process. Um, and try to find the good moments. That's what I've been doing. I've just been trying to find the good moments in this, and the happy moments in this. Because it's not gonna last. We don't know how long it's gonna last, but it's not gonna last forever. So
Now, let me caveat this is not the time to reconnect with those toxic booze and
oh
babes.
yeah.
This
Or
is
friends.
not the time to reconnect with those men and women who have been toxic, anxiety provoking,
In your life.
just a complete headache. This is not the time. So avoid them, block them, leave them unblocked. Do not unblock them. Do not, no, keep them where they are at. Because let me tell you something. I am very interested to see how many babies are born 9 to 12 months from now. Over
Well,
during this quarantine, I am curious of the birth numbers
for the baby.
that will happen in over the next year. I
It's
am
gonna
very
be it's gonna be some little babies.
look,
It's gonna be some little babies.
I am very interested to see just how many like if we have like a spike over the next year. So don't let that be you, because that one thing can set you back even further.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about pregnancy. I'm talking about like soul ties. I'm talking about reconnecting with people who you at home, you lonely, and you just want somebody to come hold you. You just want to spend time with somebody, and so you scrolling through your phone book. Everybody's busy. Everybody on Zoom calls all day, and in a moment of weakness, you contact that
Somebody.
person that you have no business reaching out to, and they're available because they ain't no good, so they don't come through and make it do what it do.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is not the time. That's not when I say rebuild those relationships. That ain't the one I'm talking about. Just to clarify, because some people be like, "Well, Cam and Sarah, no, we didn't say that.
Don't go
Um,
back.
do not go back." But finally, I definitely got to, because we got to wrap this up. We both got to go. But we cannot get off here without talking about basically wealth. And wealth is more than just money. And we have to take wealth very seriously, especially in times like this, because we don't know when the storm is coming. Like this storm that we're in right now, we don't know when it's going to end. It's already here, but we don't know where it's going to do. But it's what you do in the storm that can help you progress forward and make you learn your lesson from now.
Yeah.
So like if you want to go the Dave Ramsey route, he's a bit extreme, but he makes sense with what he's saying in terms of you need to build up 6 months of income. Well, people that just got laid off 2 months ago, they would be, oh, okay, I got my 6 months, I'm straight. But because we don't prepare for the storm, here we are now, like waiting on these stimulus checks, hoping that the government helps us out. Like we're depending on things that are not in our control. There are things when it comes to wealth, you should have control over that. Bottom line, we have to have control over our wealth. So take this time to really think, okay, what can I do? I mean, now I know it's like a day-to-day survival. It's a day-to-day grind. It's a day-to-day figure it out. But when this is over, I need to spend 30 minutes learning something. I need to get a book. I need to look at YouTube videos. I need to learn about stocks. I need to learn about bonds. I need to learn about investing. I need to learn about real estate. Whatever you can do, you need to do it, because you and your family deserve to still be taken care of right now. And it's not fair that you may got laid off right now. It's not fair at all, because it's not your fault and it's not the company's fault either. But clearly the company that you're working for does not have your best interest at heart. But you have to have your best interest in preparing for these ebbs and flows. And when financial things happen, if you have a relative die and you don't have life insurance, that's another bill that you just got added to your thing, like figuring that whole situation out. And so we all have to take ownership of our wealth and our role in it, because nobody's going to look out for you. The government, they might give you, clearly they're showing they're going to give you stimulus checks, but we don't know when the next one's coming. We don't know if another one's coming.
Right. If one is
So
going to come.
this stimulus check that you just got, spend it wisely. Okay, what can I do? Can I save some of it? Do all of it need to go to this bill? Can I call this part, like Ken said the other week, can I call my tax people, my bill payers, and say, hey, let me get 90 days? Can I get 30 days? Can I get an extension? I'll have your money in this day. And can I spread this 1,200, this 2,400, this 1,700? Can I spread this out? What is it that I can do now to start building my wealth? Can I start building my business plan today? Like I just saw like on Facebook, one of my line brothers who's in the trucking industry. So he's working, he's still on the grind. He's delivering, serving the country, delivering the foods. But he just said, look, I need to get my business plan together.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's go. Like, what can we do now with this time that we've been giving? Yes, love that you're spending more time with your kids. Yes, love that we're catching up on all the Netflix series. But what can you do now to put yourself in a better financial position? Not necessarily physically. I'm talking up here, knowledge-wise, like mindset-wise. Like start looking at opportunities that are going to come up. Because let me tell you something. When this is over, I'm telling you right now, guys, my witness, and everyone listening to this, understand my voice. I am buying a property.
Okay.
I am buying a property. I said it months ago that I said I'm looking to get into real estate this year. Look, this economic crash that we're going through is where people that are in the haves are looking to take advantage of the have-nots. The people that are the higher corporation, they're looking to take advantage when this all passes. They're going to take advantage. They're going to buy skyscrapers for pennies on the dollar. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to take advantage. I'm going to buy a property for me to continue to build my wealth. So I want to challenge everybody that your focus is on wealth. I want to challenge each one of you to figure out, like, how can you grow your mindset as far as money? How can you look at money differently? What can you do to put yourself in a better financial situation? Do I need to cut $50 out of each check that I'm getting and put it back? Do I need to start Do I need to start a college fund for my kids? Do I need to get life insurance? Do I need to do this or that? Like, figure out what is the best financial situation for you. And folk, as we come shortly to a close, I want you guys to really take a step back and really look at which area do I need to focus on right now.
Mm-hmm. Out of the core four, right?
Out of that core four, is it my health? Is it my mindset? Is it my relationships? Or is it my wealth? In a perfect world, you can work on all four every day. I'm a realist. I understand everybody can't do that. But I want to challenge you to pick one area of your core four and go full force in it during this time.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, your thoughts, closing remarks.
I'm with it. Everything that you said, ditto. I feel like this is the time to work on one of those core four. You do have the opportunity to pick one. For most people, it probably is your mental piece to it, maybe your physical. But now is the time to work on something. Now is the opportunity to do this. And it doesn't have to be something you do every day, something you need to do something, right? So I'm with it. I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Let's get it. Let's go.
Let's get it.
All right. Announcements. So this podcast will be coming out on April 16th. So y'all will have 24 hours. If you listen to this podcast, you have 24 hours to take advantage of this offer. Peer Power here in Memphis, the Peer Power Foundation here in Memphis, Tennessee is offering free free ACT online prep classes. So for those of you who are parents, those of you who have high school juniors, high school seniors who need to retake the ACT and need to get that last minute study in, they are doing free online. Free. You ain't got to do nothing but just show up, your computer, your phone. That's all you got to do is show up. Take advantage of this opportunity. It's free. Another announcement. I said a couple weeks ago that I'm going to be doing lives this week and the weeks following, talking about high school and college seniors. Everybody graduating, everybody in limbo. We got job freezes. I'm giving lives to talk about how you can prepare for that in different situations. I started this past Saturday. When I last checked, we had like 200 views. So we're gonna keep that going. The next one is tonight. I'm recording this on Wednesday. We're talking about high school. The next one, like I said, if you're listening, all these will be on Facebook, on the Facebook page, so you can go back and watch them. I intentionally did them on Facebook and not Instagram because the lives will stay there.
Yes.
So this Saturday at noon. So I'm doing 12 o'clock noon on Saturdays for college seniors and Wednesday nights at 7 for the high school population. So those are the announcements. Sarah, you got anything? Matter of fact, hold on. Before we move anything forward, have y'all started even looking at anything as far as this wedding?
So, like we said before on the podcast, one of the things we wanted to make sure was we went to do our premarital counseling first, right, before we made like final decisions. And so one of the things that we've done, we've sort of kind of done like some mini planning in a sense. So like we've looked at options. So we've given ourselves like options for like dates and options for location, and just things like that. And we're going to make like the final decision once we finish or start our premarital counseling. But as with everything else, we have to wait. Everything has come to a halt. So, but I'm still looking for places. There was one that I saw at this church, and his church actually does one, but we're just waiting to get dates so we can get started. So, but we've had some conversations. I can't say that. We've had some conversations. We kind of got an idea of like places. So we have like 3 different possible places, like possible locations, right? We have a few dates. And just things like that, like major things like that. But we're gonna make our final decision. Right. Once we're able to go through premarital counseling and get that out the way. So we've had some conversations. One thing I can say we have agreed upon is we want to make this as easy as possible in a sense. So we are looking at like all-inclusive spots, but in the United States. Yeah, so there's some places. I listen, your girl. I'm a
I know
researcher.
you a travel queen.
I'm a researcher. So we
Mm-hmm.
found there are like a few places that so like one of our options is New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a place in New Orleans that does all inclusive everything. You pay one price, you get pretty much everything, right? So we would literally just show up in a sense. Um, and another one of our options is Destin, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Yeah.
they also have the same. And so for us, it was really about location and just distance. So
Mm-hmm.
like many of our family, they're in Mississippi, and many of them uh, really don't fly. And so driving driving to New Orleans isn't a big thing, right? Like our family can catch the train in New Orleans.
Hold
And
on, y'all
Destin,
trying to have the wedding in New Orleans or the
yeah,
honeymoon?
wedding, the
Oh shoot, let
wedding.
me know something. Let me know.
Yeah, so
Let
that's
me
what
know
I'm
what
saying.
I'm
So those are
signing
our
up.
options. So our options right now, of course, is Memphis, New Orleans, and Destin, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And so each of those places is not a long drive. So like New Orleans, of course, is like 5, 6 hours. Destin, Florida is only like 7, 8 hours from Memphis. And so for us, that's not a big deal because like my family, we drive to Oklahoma City, which is 7.5, 8 hours. Um, and so, but those are options, right? And so, in the other piece about this, so if we do somewhere else, that means our guest list is actually going to be shorter because a lot of people ain't gonna go. So, see,
I got you.
you see where I'm going?
It's a little maniacal, but hey, I get it.
There's a little what?
Trust me, I'm maniacal, a little devious, mischievous, but
Actually,
I get it.
not necessarily mischievous, but for me, honestly, so I had got this wedding planning Bible that a friend gave me. And when I looked at it, Cam, I was like, this is just way too much. This is just way too much. Like all the things that you need to think about
Mm-hmm.
and do, this is just way too much. You have to do it separately. And so I had told Ken, I was like, I wonder if there's somewhere in the United States that does all inclusive where we could just pay one price and it'll just be done. And so for both of us, we're like, yeah, that would take a lot of stress out of it versus like having to get this thing and then this thing and then this thing and then this thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So that was really like the idea behind finding like
Mm-hmm.
all inclusive places. So we have options. Saying all that said, we have options. And
Still in progress.
it's still in progress. So once we get through some other things, we'll be making decisions and dates and all of those great things. So
Well, great deal. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode.
yes.
Make sure you focus on the area of Core 4. Again, check out those announcements. But until next time, we'll see you next week.
All right, bye.